The Tigers of Mansfield Senior started the season with 2 wins over Worcester and Lima Senior. Since then, however, the going has gotten a little bit rough. They've lost 5 of their last 6, including a 65-56 loss at Madison last weekend. They tried to enter 2022 on a positive note, hosting the Ashland Arrows. It's Ashland and Mansfield Senior coming up next.
Here we go now.
Here we go now. Here we go now.
Lender, craftsman, dog dad. We're more than our job titles, and you're more than an account number. The personal attention we provide comes from a promise to serve you with respect and compassion. By being responsive to your questions and taking time to understand your needs and goals, we give you more than just a place to bank. That's the more you can expect from Park National Bank. Find John or a banker near you at parknationalbank.com. Park National Bank, where you mean more.
Hi, I'm John Mark Young, a financial advisor and owner with Whitaker-Myers Wealth Managers. Whitaker-Myers Group has been a local trusted advisor since 1869, serving families in Ashland, Richland, and Wayne counties. We believe in the financial freedom and power of living debt-free. With offices in Ashland, Mansfield, Worcester, Columbus, and South Carolina, we have advisors that are ready to help you begin your journey to financial success. Visit our website at www.whitakerwealth.com to learn more and schedule a meeting.
And where? What do you say? The exclamation point on the night for Maurice Ware. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Janney Montgomery Scott pregame show presented by Richard Sturry. I am Brian Harter along with Gregg Collins, and we are beginning 2022 at Pete Henry as the Tigers of Mansfield Senior are hosting the Ashland Arrows. I am Brian Harter. This is Gregg Collins, and we were here for the opener when Mansfield Senior looked very good in defeating Worcester. But since then, they've fallen on some hard times, and they're going to start 2022 by facing, I believe, is one of the premier teams in the OCC, the Ashland Arrows.
Well, I think you're right, Brian. Certainly in the game that we had with Lexington the last time we had them, they struggled. They struggled at the defensive end. They tried to trap the basketball on ball screens and left a lot of 4-on-3s, and Lexington took advantage of it. Of course, Lex, good size. Tonight, Ashland's going to come in with one pretty good-sized player inside in Jurjevic, but most of it's going to be done on the perimeter with a couple of very, very good perimeter players.
Ashland, as you saw on that board, was 7-2 overall. They're 3-1 in the OCC. Mansfield Senior 3-5 overall. They are 1-3 in conference play. Ashland defeated West Holmes 76-66 last Tuesday night. Luke Denbo scored 21 points, and in doing so became Ashland's all-time leading scorer. Grayson Sturry scored 24. Jurjevic, as you mentioned, scored a double-double. He had 15 points and 17 rebounds. Luke Denbo really does everything for this team, and he is arguably the best player, if not in North Central Ohio, in this district. Last year, the district player of the year.
Yeah, he was in Division I. Very good perimeter player, and now this year with the loss of White that played last year on the perimeter, you've got Denbo and Sturry that have to do a lot more of handling the basketball. Now, the few times that we had Ashland last year, I was so amazed at how unselfish the players were. They gave up the basketball. Well, one guy they could give it up to and receive it from was Isaac White, who is not there anymore. So now, it's just really two guys out on the perimeter that will share the basketball and try to create at the offensive end.
Now, a lot of teams would look at a team like Ashland, and you would be grateful to have one really, a guy that you could call a scorer. Jason Hess has got two of them.
Well, he does. In our last game, we had Willard, that a very good basketball team that were led by two guards that were averaging around 19 points a game each. Well, same tonight. Two basketball players in both Denbo and Sturry that can light it up, and Sturry especially is shooting extremely well this year. Very efficient. But then they also have Jurjevic inside, who's a big kid. So that's a nice compliment to your perimeter game.
Jason Hess told me that Jurjevic is probably the guy who's kind of the X factor for this team. He gives them an inside presence. He gives them a rebounder. And one of the keys for tonight's game that he felt was they have to be able to rebound the basketball against the Tigers, and they want to be able to get their transition started, and that starts with getting on the glass.
Well, it does. And last year we saw Ashland score on steals and also on transition off missed shots. This year, much more transition off missed shots. And again, you're right. You have to make a defensive stop. You have to get the rebound and get out and run. And they're playing with four guards, so they do run well.
And the other key that he felt was they have to take care of the basketball. When you come into a place like Pete Henry and play against a team like the Tigers that likes to press, that likes to force the tempo, he said they have to take care of the basketball if they're going to win this game tonight.
Well, that's going to be interesting for me to watch. Again, our last game a couple of weeks ago against Lexington, they were not able to turn over Lexington. They played straight man-to-man. They did a little trapping on ball screens, but that was the only trapping they did. They did not rotate extremely well, and Lex took advantage of it. Tonight, will they come out and try to trap, do some gimmicks against both Sturry and Denbo especially? But the key to me is get back on defense. Make it a half-court game when you're on defense if you're senior high.
Now, one thing that does not help the Ashland Arrows is they're not very deep. They usually play only 6 guys a night. So the guys that they're going to rely on, especially offensively, Sturry and Denbo, they also have to hustle back and play defense. And Coach Hess told me their defense sometimes suffers a little bit because of that.
Well, and that, if you're going to play 32 minutes, that's going to happen. The other factor is you can't afford foul trouble. So far this year, they've been able to stay out of foul trouble. One important statistic, I brought it up last week with Willard, with Shelby, who is another very good basketball team. One sign of an outstanding basketball team, if you make more free throws than your opponents shoot. And Willard did that, Shelby has done that this year. Ashland has done that. In talking with Coach Hess about it, that's a statistic that they keep. They want to make sure that they they make more than their opponents shoot. And thus, if they can keep their opponents off the free throw line, out of foul trouble, the kids can play longer.
Now, on the other side of the coin are the Tigers of Mansfield Senior. And they might be one of the biggest mysteries that I think I've seen so far in this season. They started off, and we were here when they played Worcester, and they played what Marquise Sykes likes to call Tiger basketball.
Right.
They got you in transition. They pressured you. They played tempo. Yes, they turned the ball over a little bit, but they made up for it with defense and transition, and they got out to a 2-0 start. Since then, though, they have fallen on hard times. They've lost 5 of their last 6 ball games. Maurice Ware missed a couple games because of an injury. He's back, but they still need to figure out what they need to do going into 2022 to get back into the situation where they're actually winning some ball games now.
Well, it's no mystery. You can't turn the ball over more than 20 times a game. They're averaging over 20 turnovers a game, and you're right. In the first game against Worcester, they handled the ball pretty well. They got out in transition, made good decisions with the basketball. The next night, they upset a very talented Lima Senior team in Lima. Yeah, they turned the ball over a fair amount that night, but they forced turnovers. But since then, they've only been creating turnovers, not forcing turnovers. They got to take better care of the basketball. And I really do think, Brian, they're a suspect perimeter shooting team. They're shooting 25% from the three. They've got to find a way to get some easy baskets. They've got to find a way to create some offense through their defense. They've got to get some steals and make some easy layups. They've got to get rebounds, outlet, and get numbers on the transition, especially if they can get Ashland tired. And then they got to be good from the free throw line.
So the keys for the Tigers for tonight's game, they have got to take better care of the basketball.
No
They're
question.
averaging 20 turnovers a ball game
Too
coming
many.
into tonight, and that is way too many. And one stat off of that, one of the things they like to do is create points off of their turnovers. Of the ones they force, they're only scoring 7 a game, and that is not enough.
No, not when you have suspect perimeter shooting. And when teams are able to get them into a half court, Lexington got them into a half court, they struggled offensively. Worcester in our first game here, that was an up and down game. Senior High was able to get to the basket. Worcester was able to get to the basket. Senior High made more plays at the basket, thus won the basketball game.
Now, when healthy, we know what Maurice Ware can do. He can take over a basketball game. He's extremely athletic. He's quick. He showed in that first game, especially against Worcester, that he could shoot the basketball from the perimeter, but they're also looking for somebody else to complement him, and one of those guys could be Amon Thomas, the big guy in the middle.
Well, yeah, you made the comment. I didn't realize this, but you told me that he had a double-double against Madison. That's great. That's great. I think, we're always asking who's going to be the second scorer for Senior High. Well, even if they don't get anybody at the 10, 11, 12 points, that's fine. But they need multiple guys at the 8 or 9 points where they're getting steals, getting breakaways. Senior High averages 56 points a game. I think they're going to need to at least be in the mid-60s today to be in this game.
The Tigers lost their third OCC game of the season, getting beat at Madison last weekend 65-56. Ware had 17, Amon Thomas 11 points and 10 rebounds, and Carryon Lindsay scored 10 in the loss. We're going to pause now for the playing and singing of our national anthem.
Join the Mansfield Senior High School Pep Band in the playing and singing of our national anthem.
We are back here at Pete Henry Gymnasium, just a few minutes away from the opening tip-off as the Tigers look to get win number 4 as we start 2022, and it's not going to be an easy task as they take on the Ashland Arrows. Let's take a look at the starting lineups. First of all, for the Ashland Arrows, under the direction of head coach Jason Hess, Landon McFrederick, one of the guards, averages almost 3 points and 3 rebounds per game. Luke Denbo, the reigning District 6 Player of the Year, off to a hot start in his senior year, averaging 24.5 points a game, 6 rebounds, and 7 assists. He's joined in the backcourt by Kessler Bates, who scores 7 points and has 2 steals per game. Grayson Sturry, the other guard, 19 points, 5 rebounds, and he shoots 42% from the three-point line. And Luke Jurjevic averages almost 13 points, 10 rebounds, and 24 blocks, so he averages a double-double for the Ashland Arrows. For the Tigers of Mansfield Senior, the guards, Nathaniel Haney, averages almost 8 points and a team-high 13 steals. Carryon Lindsay, the 5'9 sophomore, he scores almost 5 points per game. He is second on the team with 15 assists. Miles Bradley, one of the starting wings, he's the team's defensive stopper. Maurice Ware averages 18 points and 7 boards per game. In the post is Amon Thomas, 7 rebounds and 7 points, and 4.5 rebounds per game for the sophomore. So a couple sophomores in the lineup for the Tigers. And I think that's also one of the other things that Marquise Sykes is dealing with. He's still trying to find some chemistry and find some combinations that work because he still has some young players on this roster.
Well, he does. And, with that, he's trying to add, defenses, offensive sets, et cetera, as the season progresses. So there's still going to be a learning curve. But, I really do think essential tonight, Miles Bradley, as you mentioned, is a defensive stopper. He plays great defense. Will he be on Denbo? Will he be on Sturry? Who knows? But somehow, he's not able to convert his defense into scoring at the opposite end. Somehow tonight, besides containing those two guys, whichever one he defends, he's going to have to create some turnovers where either he or the team score. You can't, Senior High is struggling to find scoring. Their defense has been, I would say, pretty good. Not great, but certainly much further ahead than the offense. Marquise needs to find something that will help at the offensive end. Sitting up here, I don't have the answers, but I do know the problems.
Now, one potential, and I don't know if this is a problem, but maybe it's a concern, when you have a player like Maurice Ware and you have young players, do they get a tendency to kind of stand around and wait for him to do something?
Well, we saw that in the Lex game where he was dribbling around trying to create, and when he dribbles or anybody dribbles too much, other 4 players are just kind of standing there, and that's something that maybe over the last couple of weeks they've been working on, and hopefully that's going to improve. But yeah, you're right, Brian. It's tough because he is such a good player. But when anybody receives the basketball, you want to dribble with a purpose. You don't want to dribble trying to find something. You want to dribble with a purpose, and usually that purpose is either to dribble to shoot, dribble to pass, or maybe to dribble to get out of a time problem, a 5 count from the official. But you don't want to just dribble in one place. And when that happens, people stand around.
Now, unlike the Ashland Arrows, the Tigers will use their bench. One guy who will not be available tonight is sophomore Elias Owens. He is out with an elbow injury. He hurt that against Madison last weekend, and he will not play tonight. They're not sure when he will be back, so they're still doing some testing to determine the extent of that injury. But other than that, when we have seen them, they will go 9-10 deep and try to get teams to cough up the basketball and play to the tempo that they want to play.
And again, you mentioned Ashland doesn't play a lot of players. Well, that's an advantage Senior High has tonight if they can make it. And I think Ashland wants to make it a transition game. If Senior High can get Ashland to where maybe they're a little fatigued in the fourth quarter, maybe then is when they can create some turnovers and some easy points.
Now, I asked Jason Hess when I talked to him today if he felt that maybe he was catching the Tigers at the right time because they have been struggling offensively and trying to figure some things out. And he kind of chuckled and he goes, coming into Pete Henry, I don't know if there is a right time to catch this team. He recognizes this is not an easy place for road teams in the OCC to come in and play.
Especially on weekends when there's usually a bigger crowd than what we have tonight. But last year, I know in the first outing, or the first contest between these two teams, you weren't able to make it, but it was at Ashland, and Ashland just ran away, probably 30, 35-point difference. But the next time they played here, it was a good game, much, much better game. So you're right. Maybe Pete Henry will have an effect tonight on both teams.
Tigers control the opening tip. That's the sophomore, Kerryon Lindsey. And right away, the first turnover of the ball game, and Denbo gets his first 2 points of the night, and that can't happen if you're the Tigers. An unforced error.
Exactly. And you can't dribble around in one place too long when you have someone like Denbo. He's, played a lot of basketball. Looks like right away now they've gone back into a zone.
Well, in a team that has struggled offensively, and there's the second turnover, and a team that has struggled offensively to shoot the basketball, as you mentioned earlier, why not play a zone and make them shoot the basketball from the outside?
Well, again, the only problem with that is there's no shot clock. You can be as patient as you want, but generally Mansfield Senior is not that patient of a team. They're going to try to create. So whether it's zone, man, I'm sure they're going to slough it in.
Kessler Bates with his first bucket of the night, and the Arrows are up by 5.
Kessler's a young man that played for the organization that a couple years ago that I helped with in the spring. Fine young man, very good basketball player. I'm glad that he's having some success.
First missed shot of the ball game for Ashland, and a foul away from the basketball.
Yeah, I think Luke Jurjevic pushed a little off to get the basketball right there.
It is on Jurjevic, his first. Ashland has won 4 in a row in the series. Ware from 3. A little off balance, and a rebound by the Arrows.
And if you're Ashland, that's what you want to force. Nice transition, beautiful pass, Denbo to Jurjevic. But if you're defensively and you're Ashland, force the perimeter shot.
Here we take a look at the Arrows in transition as they push it ahead. And Jurjevic gets his first bucket of the game, and a quick timeout taken by the Tigers as they're down 7-0. And Marquise Sykes doesn't want this to get out of hand early.
Well, not only is it 7-0, but I believe Senior High has only one shot attempt. You're going to have to shoot the basketball if you're going to score. But that last transition by Ashland, if young kids are watching that, you saw Denbo make a bounce pass to Jurjevic for the layup. It's so much easier to catch a bounce pass when you're running on transition. And that was just picture-perfect pass to a young man who shot the layup. Now they come out with a little zone three-quarters court pressure.
Ware attacks inside, gets the finger roll, and the Tigers are finally on the board.
And again, good job getting to the hoop, and we'll see if Ashland wants to go back to the three-quarters court.
Denbo kicks it out. Bates for 3. It doesn't go. And Amon Thomas gets the rebound on the backside.
Here's where Senior High, you've got to keep the ball moving. You got to create, you transition. Now we're into half court where Senior High has struggled this year in the half court offense.
Lindsey will slow it down. They've already got 2 turnovers here in the first half. Haney, and a blocking foul as Nathaniel Haney attacked the basket, and he'll go to the line. The foul is on Denbo, and that's his first.
Now the official that called that, Ben Gunn, is a good friend of mine. He was a GA with us up at Ashland, so I'm going to say great call, Ben. Great call. even if I didn't see it. Great call, Ben.
Haney gets the first free throw. He's a 76% free throw shooter on the season, and that's been another area where the Tigers have struggled is from the line.
And he is one of the few, he and Emil Upchurch, that have been very good from the free throw line. But you're right, as a team, they've struggled.
Nice ball movement. Shot doesn't go, but an offensive rebound by McFrederick doesn't go, and they still fight, and the possession arrow goes to Ashland.
Ashland doing a very good job of being unselfish with the basketball. They've gotten a few shots out in the perimeter by Kessler Bates, and it's all because of good penetration and kick.
Another foul is going to be called on the arrows. That's on McFrederick. That'll be his first. We talked about the turnovers for the Tigers, and Marquise Sykes told me he wants his players to play fast, but they have to learn to play a little bit more under control.
Exactly. You just want to make better decisions, and again, you're playing with some sophomores. It's a learning experience, but you hope as the season progresses, it gets better and better.
Ware pulls up from about 8 feet, and Maurice Ware with an early 4 points. And
nice
he pulls
pass.
the Tigers to within 1.
And that's what Maurice does so well. Pull-up jumper. He's so good at that.
Pulls up for a 3. And Jurjevic with the rebound, and here come the arrows in transition. Cross-court pass, Sturry for 3 doesn't go.
I think the pace is where both coaches would like it. Senior high, again, is going to play a lot more players, so they wouldn't mind getting up and down the court, though they'd like to offensively maybe get the ball out and run a little bit more than they have.
I know how much you love guard play, and is there a team in the OCC that has 2 better guards than Ashland?
You know, there's, again, another mid-range pull-up he is so good at. I would think not. And again, we have not seen West Holmes. Have we seen everybody else? We haven't seen Madison yet. They have a couple of good guards, but these are 2 special ones. You're right.
Denbo, and he doesn't get the bucket, but he draws the foul. As you see, he tried to go around Miles Bradley. So the first foul on Bradley. Denbo, all he has done this year is averaged 24 points a game, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. Making a strong case to be the District 6 Player of the Year again. And that doesn't happen very often. Back-to-back Player of the Year honors in the district.
Now, that's District 6 for Division I, obviously, and they're, to be fair, there aren't a lot of Division I teams in our district, but still, he's an outstanding player.
Haney for 3. And Chunky Haney now with 5, and the Tigers back up by 2.
We saw Nathaniel hit a couple of big threes last year. He's not shooting extremely well this year. Maybe that will give him a little bit of confidence.
Jurjevic put the ball on the floor, and it spits right back out to Denbo. The offensive rebound, and that is something that both coaches knew coming into tonight. They have to do a better job of boxing out. And when you force a team like Ashland to 1 shot, that's what you want to do, is just limit them to that 1 opportunity.
Well, when you know that they have especially 2 players that are prolific scorers, you can't give them extra possessions and let those guys have extra shots. That last shot prior to the rebound by Kessler Bates was Denbo wide open from the 3. You don't want to give that up too often. He's not having a great season from the 3, but you don't want to give an uncontested 3 to that young man.
Brock Hill and Emil Upchurch into the Tiger lineup.
Emil is someone that I've seen over the years. And a good player, really good player. I don't know if it's his confidence or what, but I'd really like to see him get going here.
Haney pulls up from the free throw line, and Haney feeling it here in the first quarter.
That's a nice pull-up. Those are tough shots, those mid-range pull-ups. A little bit easier for Maurice. He's bigger, he's stronger, and he can jump over the defense.
Ball kicked out to Mowry.
Good on the ball, D.
Off-balance shot by Sturry.
That was a tough shot.
Quickly up ahead to Haney. Nice pass to Upchurch.
I like the tempo, though. That's good.
Inside to Thomas for two.
That is just unselfish, outstanding passing. Ball handling.
Foul is going to be called on Brock Hill. That's his first. That is the kind of ball movement that I think any coach would love to see.
Oh, my gosh. That's just so good. When you can get dribble penetration, you're going to break down the defense, and a nice pass to an open shooter.
Thomas checks out of the lineup, having scored 2 points. Tigers up by 2, 2:05 to go in the first quarter.
Ashland is very small right now.
Well, they basically, outside of Jurjevic, they really don't have a lot of size. They're a team full of guards. Three near by Swayzko doesn't go, but another offensive rebound by the Arrows. And then a foul away from the ball on Brock Hill. That's his second.
What players have to remember, long shots mean long rebounds. When a person shoots a three and misses a three, there's a good chance it's going to be a long rebound. You can't run underneath the basket expecting to get a defensive rebound. That time the ball bounces over, gives Ashland an extra possession.
Kincaid Gibson, a 6'1 junior, into the lineup as Hill leaves with 2 personals. And we have another foul, and I believe this one's going to go on Jayante O'Brien.
Remember the statistic I gave before the game. Ashland makes more free throws than the opponents even shoot. And with Senior High, who struggled this year from the free throw line, that could be a big, big difference tonight.
Tough drive inside, and the shot doesn't go by Denvo, and here come the Tigers in transition.
Good defense by Maurice Ware. Good, very good Euro step by Maurice Ware not to get the charge. Again, transition, they're able to get a shot in the paint. That's good offense.
Now with the depth that the Tigers have, them getting a lead early and forcing Ashland to play from behind is huge. Up ahead to Ware. He thought about throwing it down, but he kind of got caught in between, still was able to roll it in. He's got 10.
I think that ball hit the bottom of the rim and rolled over.
Ball batted around, another turnover now. It goes to the Tigers.
Get it out and go. You have numbers.
Ware for 3. And Maurice Ware is feeling it. 13 points in the first quarter, and the Tigers are up by 9.
Didn't you say he could take over a game? Well, he's taken over this quarter for sure.
Back to Denbo, who's picked up by Ware. Nice look inside as they find Bates. And Bates now with 5. And the Tigers in the final 10 seconds tried to go into Upchurch. Ball poked away. That was a nice defensive play. As the ball is poked out of bounds by Kincaid Gibson.
And it probably saved 2 points right there. We'll see what happens on the inbounds.
Sturry for 3. That does it for the first quarter. The Tigers up 22-15 as we go to the second. You're watching boys high school basketball live and free exclusively on the OH Report.
Lender, craftsman, dog dad. We're more than our job titles, and you're more than an account number. The personal attention we provide comes from a promise to serve you with respect and compassion. By being responsive to your questions and taking time to understand your needs and goals, we give you more than just a place to bank. That's the more you can expect from Park National Bank. Find John or a banker near you at parknationalbank.com. Park National Bank, where you mean more.
Hi, I'm John Mark Young, a financial advisor and owner with Whitaker-Myers Wealth Managers. We believe in the financial freedom and power of living debt-free. Visit our website at www.whitakerwealth.com to learn more and schedule a meeting.
Tigers up by 7 as we start the second quarter. Maurice Ware, 13 points in the first quarter. Chunky Haney with 7. And for the Arrows, Bates with 5, and Denbo and Sturry with 4 apiece.
Yeah, remember, Ashland started the quarter with a 7-0 run. Marquise had to take a timeout. Since then, Senior High's done a much better job getting mid-range shots, getting the ball to the basket.
Well, whatever he said in that timeout, it has worked.
You got to bottle that, baby.
Because the Tigers are up by 9 against one of the teams that is to be a contender in the OCC. A foul on the, I think it's going to be called on Kerryon Lindsey. That'll be his first. This is a different Tiger team than we saw against Lexington.
Well, I think they're playing at a faster pace. They're doing more off transition. And they're hitting the mid-range shot.
Djurdjevic now with 4. Well, they had a couple turnovers there at the beginning of the first quarter, but they've taken better care of the basketball.
Yes, no question, no question.
Wide open for 3. Ware, though, with a backside rebound and a finish.
He is the one player, Ahmad Thomas also, but certainly Maurice is one player you better box out.
Lindsey with a rebound. And so far, an off night for the Ashland Arrows.
Good ball movement there. Keep it moving. There you go, young man.
Lindsey with a nice spin move inside.
But you notice the ball was reversed twice. You reverse the ball. The more you reverse it, the higher percentage you have a chance to score.
McFrederick misfires, and the Tigers trying to add to an 11-point lead. Marquise Sykes said they had a very good week of practice in preparation for this game. A travel, though, by Jayante O'Brien. I asked him about the losing the 5 in 6 games, and he felt that they're still trying to figure some things out. He said there were some internal things. He goes, but they felt the week leading up to this game was one of the best weeks that they've had in preparation, and it's showing on the floor.
It is.
3 in the air by Bates doesn't go, and Thomas with another rebound. Lindsey will run the offense. That's O'Brien off the Thomas screen. Nice look inside.
You saw Ashland tried to double team the on-ball screen, and Senior High took advantage, but Senior High too slow getting back, and Dimbo with a nice pass. He wasn't the quarterback, was he, in the football team? He's had a couple of nice long passes today. You can tell he's played a lot of basketball.
Yes, a team that doesn't go very deep into their bench. The Arrows will get up and get after it defensively. As you see it right there, Denbo with the strip and the bucket at the other end.
That was just good defense. Senior High was going nowhere with the basketball, and he just took advantage of it. Keep the basketball moving. Again, dribble for a purpose.
Foul's going to be called on Denbo. That's his second. Jason Hess called him the typical gym rat. He said he eats, drinks, and sleeps basketball.
Well, he's committed to or signed at West Liberty, which is one of the better D2 basketball programs in the country.
Said he's very passionate about the game, and it's obvious in watching him play and how he attacks. Thomas comes up with the ball and just keeps fighting, and that is what we did not see against Lexington.
You're right. Stayed with it. The first shot that Ahmad put up was blocked by Jurjevic. Stayed with it, gives his team a second chance.
Another misfire from outside, and the Arrows look to push. McFrederick, and he draws the foul on Amon Thomas.
And now Ashland, who's a good free throw shooting team, will be in the 1-on-1 for the last 4 minutes of the second quarter. Yeah, I said before the game, I really thought senior high needed to get into the mid-60s. But right now they have 30. That's a good start. They're averaging in the low 50s, or mid-50s, and they've just struggled all season to score consistently.
Well, and you talk about that consistency against Madison. They had 5 points in the first quarter, 23 in the second. Then they had 9 in the third and 19 in the fourth. And that is something that Marquis Sykes does not want to see replicated here tonight, especially against, and this is no disrespect to Madison, especially against a team like Ashland.
Right.
You have to be more consistent.
See where Ashland's gone back to their zone now. Trying to match up as well as they can.
Haney for three.
Now the young man has a great stroke.
Second three of the night for Haney, and the lead is back up to 12. Denbo for three. Oh, by the way, the Arrows are not going to go quietly.
No. Nice catch by Emil Upchurch and being able to put the ball up. Nice athletic move right there.
Gets his first bucket of the ball game and puts the Tigers back up by 11, but it's Denbo back to the line. Denbo with 9. Jason Hess told me when he's been a 4-year starter, and at first he was asked to just run the team as a point guard and be a facilitator. In the last couple of years, he's really developed as a scorer.
Well, he's had some pretty good players around him. Eli White, who played last year and now playing in college. Of course, Sturry right now. So it helps to have a good team around you.
Another turnover.
Nice defense.
Well, they take it right back, and then they give it right back.
Better defense.
And that might be the easiest 2 points that Luke Denbo will score tonight. Arrows pulled to within 9. Ball out of bounds. It will stay with the Tigers. The only 2 losses on the season for Ashland. They lost to Lexington 73-71, and then they got beat by Buckeye Valley in a game that was rescheduled. We were supposed to go do their game with Holy Name, and then Holy Name had to pull out because of COVID. So then Buckeye Valley was scheduled literally at the last second. Upchurch unable to convert inside.
Good offensive rebound putback. Now, in both losses for Ashland, they had a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter.
And then both losses ended up being by 2 points. So they literally had no time to prepare for Buckeye Valley and go in and lose by 2. How hard is that to find out that you're going to play a team and you have no scouting report?
Right. And it's a good team. I believe Buckeye Valley is a team that's 7-1 right now, so you're right. That's challenging.
Haney for a long-distance 3. That almost looked like a design play. I'm going to miss a 3. and then you're going to come in and slam it.
Yeah.
And Ware almost pulled it off.
Now, Nathaniel's got a great stroke, and he's feeling it tonight, but I'm not sure if that's the shot that Coach Sykes wants. You don't need a deep three right now.
Mowry for three on the other end doesn't go, and Ware steals the rebound up ahead to Upchurch. And a travel. And these are the things that Marquise Sykes, and again, Marquise Sykes was a point guard.
Right.
So he
right.
understands playing in transition, pushing, but also playing under control. And those kind of turnovers are going to make him pull what little hair he has left out.
Well, when it's a 3-on-1, you got to convert.
Kessler Bates now with 7. And as we get to the final minute, and there is a foul that's going to be called on Camden Mowry.
Ashland foul number 3, Camden Mowry. That's his first, team's 5th.
It's only the 15th foul for the Arrows. Ware picked up by Bates. Well, and that was almost a steal, and Marquise Sykes not happy.
Again, standing with the basketball, I think Marquise just wants some, hey, dribble for a purpose. If you don't have it, move the ball. Get a little bit of flow going here.
Easy going, right?
Well,
he did not look easy going there.
Easy going, but maybe a little frustrated.
A little bit.
But not tonight. They're playing well, and I think he would love to see him go for the last shot if they could hold the ball for the last shot here.
Ware was grabbed by Bates. And that's team foul number 6 for the Arrows, the second on Bates. Haney, guarded by Mowry, attacks the lane. Made that look really easy, did Haney, who now has 12.
And another nice pass by Dimbo.
Wasn't pretty, but Djurjevic gets another bucket. He's got 6. And Ware for 3 to end the half. And the Tigers with a pretty good first half as they lead the Arrows by 9 as we head to the intermission. You're watching boys high school basketball live and free exclusively on the OH Report.
Here we go now.
Here we go now. Here we go now.
Lender, craftsman, dog dad. We're more than our job titles, and you're more than an account number. The personal attention we provide comes from a promise to serve you with respect and compassion. By being responsive to your questions and taking time to understand your needs and goals, we give you more than just a place to bank. That's the more you can expect from Park National Bank. Find John or a banker near you at parknationalbank.com. Park National Bank, where you mean more.
Hi, I'm John Mark Young, a financial advisor and owner with Whitaker-Myers Wealth Managers. Whitaker-Myers Group has been a local trusted advisor since 1869, serving families in Ashland, Richland, and Wayne counties. We believe in the financial freedom and power of living debt-free. With offices in Ashland, Mansfield, Worcester, Columbus, and South Carolina, we have advisors that are ready to help you begin your journey to financial success. Visit our website at www.whitakerwealth.com to learn more and schedule a meeting.
And where? What do you say? The exclamation point on the night for Maurice Ware. It's halftime here at Pete Henry Gymnasium where the Tigers are up 39-30. Brian Harter and Gregg Collins as we start the Janney Montgomery Scott halftime show presented by Richard Sturry. And we thought that the Ashland Arrows were going to come in here and really shoot the lights out of the basketball, and they've really been kind of limited in the first half, and they've had to work for the shots that they have gotten, and they're down by 9 here at the intermission.
Well, I don't know if it's as much Ashland being cold as Senior High being exceptionally hot. Maurice Ware with his pull-up jumpers, been able to get the ball to the hoop, is shooting extremely well, and Nathaniel Haney has been shooting very well from the perimeter. But we have not seen their offense click like that. It'll be interesting to see if we can see it happen for a complete game.
Now, as we take a look at the halftime numbers, I think Marquis Sykes has to be very pleased at the statistics. Now, remember, both coaches said that rebounding and taking care of the basketball were keys coming into tonight's game. The Tigers with the decisive edge on the boards, 19-9, and only 2 turnovers for the Arrows. But considering how the game started, and they only have 8 turnovers at the intermission, Coach Sykes has to be very happy.
Well, he has to. And, yeah, they do hold a rebounding edge because Ashland has missed more shots. Neither team is doing a great job at the offensive boards. Maybe they're not trying to. Ashland has 4 offensive rebounds, really concentrating on getting back, trying to stop transition. Senior High has 4 offensive rebounds, but I believe out of those 4 offensive rebounds gave their team a chance to score again, and they took advantage of it.
Maurice Ware leads all scorers with 17 points, and as we take a look at some of the highlights from the first half, he's really done it in a lot of different ways. There you see him, and he's obviously very well at going to the basket, but he's also been able to pull up and get these shots from inside.
Exactly. The first highlight was when Senior High was struggling offensively. Ashland, out of a timeout, came with a 3/4 court pressure, and Maurice Ware took advantage of it. Because it was 3/4 court pressure, there's an open lane. He took advantage of that lane, got it to the hoop. From there, though, you're right. He's done a great job of pull-ups and also getting to the hoop. Here, transition with a nice pass to him. You know, they're running the court well. And I think Senior High, well, I don't think there's any secret. They're so much better when they're able as a team to get out and run and take care of the basketball.
And as you saw in that last shot, he is not what I describe as a great outside shooter, but if you leave him open, he will hurt you.
He can knock down an open three-point shot. You're right. But, you know, Maurice is a type of an athlete that you can't take everything away from him. And I would think, number one, you want to take away him getting to the basket. Number two, getting to the lane, pull up. And then finally, number three, try to get a hand on the shot on the perimeter.
Now, on the other side, Luke Denbo averages 24 points a game. He's had kind of a quiet night so far, 11 points to lead Ashland. Kessler Bates with 7, and Sturry and Jurjevic each with 6. They need to get a little bit more scoring from their scorers to get back into this game.
They do, but I'll tell you, the one thing that's really impressed me about Denbo is his passing. He has given up the ball, and he has made some full-court passes that have been just right on target, and it's converted into layups. If there's anything that Marquise really had to talk to the team about at halftime was, fellas, after we score a basket, they're still beating us down the court at times. And it's mostly getting the ball into Denbo and letting him find players. That's why I asked if he was a quarterback. I don't know if he was a quarterback or if he even played football. But he is a quarterback on the basketball team.
Yeah, he has really done everything. He is one of those athletes that's going to be missed when he leaves Ashland.
Yes.
And not just from what he has produced on the football field and on the basketball floor. Every coach that I've talked to just talks about the quality of person that he is, and he's going to carry himself very far in life with the work ethic and the attitude that he has.
It sounds like his brothers. The family, the parents must have done a pretty darn good job with the whole group.
So the Arrows start with the basketball down by 9 here in the third quarter. Tigers have gotten a little bit more consistency. They were up 22-15 after the first quarter, and they outscored Ashland 17-15 in the second.
Well, Senior High played better half-court defense than they have earlier in the season. Now, Lex took advantage on-ball screens, getting out of those on-ball screens and playing 4 versus 3. Ashland is struggling a little bit here. Again, good half-court defense by the Tigers. Good transition. Just not able to convert.
Ware misses the layup, and the Arrows will try it again. Sterry blocked by Ware. Well, you talk about that second scoring option for the Tigers, and Marquise Sykes really thinks it can be Nathaniel Haney.
Well, he's proven it tonight, hitting a couple of outside threes. And hitting a nice short jumper.
He also likes Simon Thomas and what he brings inside. An All-Ohio football player as Denbo is fouled by Miles Bradley.
Now when Owens is healthy and able to play, well, they're able to substitute a little bit in the post. You know, as coaches would say, they have 10 fouls to give between the two of them. They can rest them. They can play hard for a few minutes. Now without Owens, he's going to be asked to play probably more minutes, and otherwise they're going to have to go to a smaller lineup. But unfortunately with Maurice Ware, he's a shot blocker, especially when he's on the move. You know, he's going to keep some people from getting to the paint.
He's listed at 6'2", and as he tells you, he is 6'2". Ware with a nice shot fake.
Nice up and under.
Well, and he picks up where he left off in the first half. He's got 19.
Kevin McHale would have been happy with that, the up and under move.
McFrederick gets free inside but misses. Tigers have lost 5 of 6. Ashland has won 5 of 6. Ware with a tough turnaround, and Maurice Ware is feeling it. He's got 21.
I think he is. That is a tough shot. Hand in his face, still knocks it down.
Steery for 3. Offensive rebound doesn't go, and Miles Bradley finally chases it down.
Senior high off and running.
Haney for 3. Haney with his third 3 of the night. He's got 15, and the Tigers are up by 14. Denbo tried to answer at the other end, and the Tigers do a pretty good job of just limiting it to one shot on the possession.
And that's key. Again, long shot, long rebound. The last 2 3-point shots by Ashland. Senior high's been able to rebound.
Ware misfires from outside.
Here's a long pass by Dembo. Transition.
And an offensive foul as Maurice Ware draws the charge. Now this is what the Maurice Ware that we saw against Worcester, doing it at both ends of the floor.
And that was a bang play right there. But, you know, Luke Djurdjevic trying to catch the ball and on the run, and Maurice Ware just holding his ground, and that's a tough one.
Miles Bradley comes out. Brock Hill comes back in. Djurdjevic with his second foul. And another takeaway by Denbo.
And again, you got to have a purpose. Go somewhere with the dribble, especially with someone like Dembo. That's a good call.
Yeah, they'll call the block on Denbo. Now, that's the third foul on Luke Denbo.
Now, if you're Jason Hess, you're down by 12, a little bit over 4 minutes in the third. Boy, you'd like to get him out, but he's such a key player. Can you afford to get him on the bench at all?
Hill looks inside to Thomas. And Thomas misses a bunny, and he'd love to have that one back.
He would, because that was a great post entry by the quarterback, Brock Hill. Very nice post entry, threw it away from the defense. And Ahmad, I know he wants that back. That's one he's got to finish. Now we're getting a little full court pressure by the Tigers.
I'm wondering if Jason Hess even considered pulling Denbo down by 12. He's still in the game.
The one thing going in his favor is he's played a lot of basketball, experienced player.
And on cue, he finishes, now has 17. Ware with a floater, and it's brought down by Sturry. I don't think Sturry thought he would be that open.
Yeah, he's having a rough night. He's having a tough night.
Sturry averages 19 a game. He's got 6 with 3.5 minutes to go in the third quarter.
And we have to remember the comment you made, Brian, at the beginning of the game. Ashland plays 6-7 guys at the most. You know, if Senior High can get them fatigued, and this is an up-and-down game, they're going to have an advantage in the fourth.
Ware shows off the body controlling now with 23. And the Tigers back up by 12.
And I know that's something that Jason Hess did not want. Let him get to the paint. Good post move by Jerkovic.
Ware open for 3. And you cannot do that.
He's feeling it tonight.
Denbo on Ware. They're going to call the block. Yes, they call it a Maurice Ware, and Denbo will go to the line looking for the three-point play. Denbo just pushes coast to coast, and Maurice Ware just could not get set. Denbo, a 74% free throw shooter. 4 for 5 from the line on the night. Denbo he makes it look effortless.
He does.
And with 3 fouls, you know, he's got that senior mentality. He doesn't quit playing. Nice look inside to Brock Hill. And Bradley kicks it back out to Hill. Lindsay for 3. Denbo for 3. And there's a lid over both baskets. Pace starting to catch up with both teams now. Upchurch does a nice job of poking it out of bounds. They were trying to go inside to Jurjevic.
What I do like, though, Brian, is both teams are so well schooled to look ahead, look up the court. Yeah, sometimes they don't make the right decision, but they're looking up the court. They're looking for teammates, and, you know, it's so much more fun to watch a game when it's getting up and down the court a little bit.
Denbo off the inbound. And Maurice Ware, who's got a game-high 26, and he was fouled by Bates. So Maurice Ware will go to the line. It's a 63% free throw shooter on the season. All he's done tonight is score 26. The only thing we haven't seen yet, and it wasn't because he didn't try, he hasn't thrown down a dunk yet.
Well, I think for the most part, Ashland, like most teams, are trying to take away him getting to the basket, but now with him having success tonight of shooting the perimeter shot and the mid-range shot, you might find some opportunities here in the fourth period where he is able to get to the hoop. And you know if he is, he's going to try.
Oh, yeah. Even if it's a situation where they try to take the air out of the ball a little bit.
Exactly.
Ware walks the ball up the floor as we approach a minute and a half to go in the third quarter. Tigers have been in control of this one from the start, really. Well, I shouldn't say from the start. They were down 7-0. But then a timeout by Marquis Sykes, and I don't know what he said, but whatever he said, it took effect as Bates attacks the basket. He's got 9, and the Tigers have been in control ever since.
If you're Ashland with 1 minute to go, you'd really love to get this down to single digits. Cause a turnover, get a rebound, try to score to get this to single digits as they enter the fourth.
Ware for 3. And an offensive rebound by Maurice Ware as he wasn't boxed out. And the Tigers back up by 12. And Sturry continues to struggle from the outside. Denbo.
Nice pull up. Hesitation jumper right there. 10-point lead, just under 20 seconds. Senior High, do they go for the last shot? I think they probably will. If you remember at halftime, Nathaniel Haney shot a little bit early, gave Ashland a chance to come down and also score.
Now Denbo's got to be careful. He's playing with 3 already. Offensive rebound by Lindsay drops, and that will do it. The Tigers end the third quarter with a 57-45 lead as we head to the final 8 minutes. You're watching boys high school basketball live and free exclusively on the OH Report.
Lender, craftsman, dog dad. We're more than our job titles, and you're more than an account number. The personal attention we provide comes from a promise to serve you with respect and compassion. By being responsive to your questions and taking time to understand your needs and goals, we give you more than just a place to bank. That's the more you can expect from Park National Bank. Find John or a banker near you at parknationalbank.com. Park National Bank, where you mean more.
Hi, I'm John Mark Young, a financial advisor and owner with Whitaker-Myers Wealth Managers. We believe in the financial freedom and power of living debt-free. Visit our website at www.whitakerwealth.com to learn more and schedule a meeting.
The Tigers outscored Ashland 18-15 in the third quarter. Maurice Ware with 30 for the night, and this is how the third quarter ended. An offensive rebound and a putback by Carryon Lindsay, and that's really been the story of the night. Whatever could go wrong for the Ashland Arrows really has in the first 3 quarters.
It has. Right there, the C opens up and takes advantage, gets a layup. That's not how you want to start the quarter if you're Ashland. Right now, Senior High, 59 points. Remember, they only average 56 for the season, so this is an offensive night they won't forget.
Ware with a big rebound. Pushes it up ahead to Giante O'Brien. Haney for 3. And Haney is playing arguably his best game from the perimeter so far this year for the Tigers.
A great compliment, and the team is just playing so well, but Nathaniel Haney is just a great compliment tonight to Maurice Ware. It's, those two are the dynamic duo tonight.
Denbo over Ware, and Ware blocks it. Well, if the Tigers had a New Year's resolution, I have a feeling I know what it was collectively. They're going out and they're really playing very well on both ends of the floor. Up ahead to Sturry, and the Arrows convert a 3-on-1. They've done a pretty good job of rebounding the basketball. They've limited their turnovers.
Yep, they have.
Now Denbo has had 22. Nice look inside to Bradley.
And because Ashland started the game playing more of a compact defense, but now because you're down, they have to be a little bit more aggressive. Senior High took advantage of it in the last possession.
Ball poked out of bounds by Roan.
I think Ashland realizes to get back in this ball game, they're going to have to force turnovers. So they're going to have to be a little bit more aggressive. So if Senior High can take care of the basketball, they're going to get great looks.
Denbo saw it rim out. Roan at the other end. And Maurice Ware battles for the rebound. And the Tigers will slow it up.
Ooh.
And he steps on the midcourt line, does Miles Bradley. One of the few mistakes made here by the Tigers. Brian Harter, Gregg Collins from Pete Henry. as the Tigers look to snap a 4-game losing streak to these Arrows. And they may have put together their best 3+ quarters of this season so far against one of the best teams in the OCC.
And Senior High, if you look at their upcoming schedule, they have some tough opponents coming up, but none of them are certainly better than Ashland. So they keep playing like this, they'll be fine.
Haney misses on a layup. They travel to Sandusky Saturday to take on the Blue Streaks.
We're having another good year.
So another tough test for the Tigers on the road. Ashland, on the other hand, they will host Shelby on Saturday, and Greg and I will be over there, as will the rest of the OH Report crew, to bring you the Whippets and the Arrows. And I don't know if I want to play an angry Arrows team. We saw Shelby against Willard. Nice look to Bradley, and the Tigers now demonstrate a lot of patience at the offensive end. They've got everything in their favor right now. Timeout taken by the Tigers, 4:48 to go in the fourth quarter. It has been all Mansfield Senior, minus about a minute-and-a-half stretch in the first quarter.
Right.
64-47. And the Tigers looking for win number 4, and they want to give the Arrows their second OCC loss. And if you look at the OCC race, the Tigers coming in tonight 1-3. This was a must-have if they wanted to stay in the conference race. They had to win this game tonight against a very good Ashland team.
Well, I think it was somewhat of a must-win for both teams. You know, the way Lexington is playing right now going into tonight, I think they have Worcester. I'm not sure if it's home or away, but they're undefeated. You know, if you're Ashland, you don't want to fall 2 games back of Lexington, as we're very close, if not at the halfway point. If you're Senior High, yeah, you just want to take it 1 game at a time. But if you want to get near the top of the conference, you can't afford any more losses. But the big thing is, I think if you're Marquis Sykes, you got to be happy with the way the kids are playing right now.
Well, and he talked about, you know, what they had been doing wrong in those 5 games that they lost, and he said there were some chemistry issues, and they said that there are some other things that they're working through. And again, it's a young team, relatively speaking, but if they can play consistently like they have tonight, and they've gotten, yes, 30 points from Maurice Ware, but they've also gotten 18 from Haney. If they can get some other contributions from other guys, that can take some of the strain off of Maurice Ware, and he doesn't have to feel like he has to do everything.
Well, you're exactly right, and it doesn't have to be perimeter shooting. It could be transition, layups. It can be anything, just getting some scoring. Great hustle on defense, get a turnover, and Senior High's not letting up here.
Roan now with 8. Steary off balance. He's fouled by Haney, who can't believe it. There you see the putback and the miss, but Roan there to clean it up. So Sturry at the line with a quiet 8 points. Sturry averages 19, but he's a 94% free throw shooter. How often have we said that this year?
No, not often. Not often. Now, I just got done saying must wins. Did you also reference that?
Yes.
Do you remember the late, great Bino Cook?
Oh, yes.
Who just happened to go to the same prep school I did, but anyway, a little bit before me. But Bino Cook made the statement once, there was only must win, and that was World War II, and we were the road team. So, but it was, for both teams, a key game tonight.
I guess it's about perspective.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Lindsay in the paint. What a tough finish for Carry-On Lindsay. The Tigers really like Carry-On Lindsay as their point guard, as the fouls committed by Miles Bradley.
And in the last week, tonight, Nathaniel Haney, how often have we seen sophomores not play like sophomores? How about that left-handed guard for Willard, the sophomore that was our player of the game? Just had an outstanding game. It's still amazing when sophomores are playing at such a high level.
Now, on the other side of that, the Arrows are a veteran team. Denbo is a senior. Sturry's only a junior.
Yeah, he'll be back. But Georgievic's a senior.
Haney, the quickness, and he almost got the bucket, but he'll go to the line. The thing I like about Haney is he is so quick and can change directions on a dime. He's got 18, and he'll look for 20 from the free throw line.
I know I repeat myself every time we have senior high play, but even last year, it was so fun to watch him because he always plays hard. He doesn't always have the offensive performance that he's having tonight, but it's not because of lack of effort. He's always playing hard, giving a great effort, and those are the kids you'll love to coach.
He led the team in steals with 13 coming into tonight. Another turnover, and this is just a night that just is an off night, really, and they caught a Mansfield Senior team that came in focused and ready to play.
They did. Yeah, it makes you wonder if Santa Claus didn't leave a little bit extra in everybody's stocking for Mansfield Senior. They have just played extremely well, passed the ball well, as there's an example.
Well, and I can almost hear the post-game comments from Marquis Sykes as he addresses his players. This is what we can play like. This is the potential that we have.
Right. And again, 3 minutes to go, 72 points for a team that averages 56. Again, I don't think they're going to, you can't count on shooting this well from the perimeter every night, but you can count on this effort, this type of transition. They're getting a lot of mid-range shots, which you can count on, a lot of shots at the basket, which you can count on, and a lot of good passing tonight.
Player control foul on Maurice Ware. That's his second. Denbo can't get it to go. Up ahead to Denbo. And Denbo now leads Ashland with 24. I'll tell you what, they are attacking the basket.
And they're finishing. We saw them attack the basket against Worcester early in the season. They won the game, but they didn't finish as well.
Now that's a finish.
Tonight.
That's a finish.
Didn't we call that somewhere in the fourth quarter he's going to get a breakout? Did Adam get that on highlight, I hope?
That is what you call a finish. Maurice Ware with 32. And there's the replay. That was almost like the one he had against Worcester, but the one against Worcester, he actually went over a defender.
Exactly. And did I see a little flex after he scored that?
A little bit. Well, his night's done. 32 points for Maurice Ware. There's the exclamation point. Well, I'll tell you what, when he's healthy, and he got dinged up against Lexington and missed a couple games, and we both wondered why he wasn't the same. There was a point in the Lexington game where he hit the deck. Lindsay finishes, and he now has 12.
Well, you're right. He did get injured during the Lexington game, had a slow game, but I'll tell you, Lexington's size had a lot to do with it. That inhibited him from getting to the basket. Even his pull-ups were a little bit tougher that night. Lex really did a good job defensively on him, and senior high struggled to get anybody else involved.
Malachi Johnson now into the lineup for the Tigers.
Brian, while I have a second, I know you want to add to this, but Jeff Allen, who's next to us, is being inducted into the High School Basketball Coaches Hall of Fame, and we both think the world of Jeff, and You know, he's done so much for area high school basketball. I just think that's outstanding for him.
He has. And I obviously worked with Jeff for a long time and have a lot of admiration and respect for Jeff. And that is a big honor. So our congratulations to Jeff from everybody here at the OH Report. That's a big deal.
That is a big deal. And, you know, I had to say something to Jeff tonight because the other times I see Jeff is when he's rollerblading on the trail and he's going so fast that, you know, he doesn't hear me when I'm yelling at him.
And, of course, he's going faster than you.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, he's rollerblading and I'm huffing and puffing for something.
Final minute of this big win for the Tigers, and for a team that has struggled to score points, they're knocking on the door of 80.
That's amazing. That is amazing. And, you know, as you mentioned in the Madison game, they had a couple of quarters where they really struggled. Tonight it's been consistent. They've scored in each quarter.
Well, and you know this, you want to put together a solid 32 minutes. And it doesn't matter if you come out and you look great for 8 minutes and then you, for the lack of a better phrase, you stink it up for 2 of the 3 quarters.
Right.
But this is by far the most consistent effort we've seen from the Tigers all season.
Against, again, a
good
very good
team.
basketball team. A team that's lost 2 games by only a couple of points each game. And, you know, as you said, you take away the first 2-3 minutes of the game, Senior High's dominated.
You don't think they're thinking about 80, do you? Ball goes inside off of Jameel Shaw.
Well, if they're anything like me, they're just thinking about getting points. Give me the ball, baby. Give me the ball.
Malachi Johnson's going to pull up for 3.
Nice step back there.
Well, they've had a couple tries at it. Connor Nicholson can't get it to go, and that is going to do it. The Tigers with a 78-51 win over the Ashland Arrows. And we'll be back with our Janney Montgomery Scott postgame show presented by Richard Sturry coming up right after this. You've been watching boys high school basketball live and free exclusively on the OH Report.
Here we go now.
Here we go now. Here we go now.
Lender, craftsman, dog dad. We're more than our job titles, and you're more than an account number. The personal attention we provide comes from a promise to serve you with respect and compassion. By being responsive to your questions and taking time to understand your needs and goals, we give you more than just a place to bank. That's the more you can expect from Park National Bank. Find John or a banker near you at parknationalbank.com. Park National Bank, where you mean more.
Hi, I'm John Mark Young, a financial advisor and owner with Whitaker-Myers Wealth Managers. Whitaker-Myers Group has been a local trusted advisor since 1869, serving families in Ashland, Richland, and Wayne counties. we believe in the financial freedom and power of living debt-free. With offices in Ashland, Mansfield, Worcester, Columbus, and South Carolina, we have advisors that are ready to help you begin your journey to financial success. Visit our website at www.whitakerwealth.com to learn more and schedule a meeting.
And where? What do you say? The exclamation point on the night for Maurice Ware. Welcome to the Janney Montgomery Scott postgame show presented by Richard Sturry. I am Brian Harter along with Gregg Collins. The Tigers with an impressive 78-51 win over the Ashland Arrows, an Arrows team that had been playing very well all season long. Even in their two losses, they only lost each game by 2 points. But they came into tonight and faced the Mansfield Senior team, and we hear this word a lot in sports, potential. But if you're Marquise Sykes, he's got to be telling his players, this is the potential that we have, and this is how we're capable of playing if we can do this on a more consistent basis.
Right. Now, they'll have a little bit more pep to their step tomorrow when they come into practice, maybe more smiles. But they have some good schedule coming up ahead of them. Again, Sandusky this weekend. Well, I think West Holmes maybe Friday night also. So, yeah, this is a time that you want to start playing your best basketball. You would like to play a little bit better early in the season, get yourself in the race for the conference. Right now, maybe that's out of reach, but there's still tournament ahead. So you want to be playing your best basketball by the end of February, and, hey, that's only a month and a half away.
Well, we talked about what they would have to do to win this ball game at the beginning, and basically for both teams it was rebounding and turnovers, and the Tigers with a decisive edge on the boards, 43-25. And for a team that turns the ball over on average 20 times, they did a very good job of taking care of the basketball. Only 14 turnovers. In Ashland, in a losing effort, only turned it over 8 times.
And it was a game that was up and down, which I enjoyed watching. But overall, both teams did a pretty good job of handling the basketball. As much as Senior High ran tonight, I think Coach Sykes would be very pleased with only 14 turnovers. Yeah, he would like to cause more than 8, but, hey, at the offensive end, 14 you'll live with when you can score 78 points and get a lot of shots attempted.
Are you surprised they only went to the line 6 times?
Well, again, Ashland's not a team that fouls very often, but Senior High was aggressive. They did take the ball to the basket. I guess what I'm surprised is for a team, Senior High, that's struggled this year from the line, they only went 6 times, but they made the most of it and made all 6.
Well, the Tigers hold an advantage. Now they have 105 wins in the series and only 42 losses to the Ashland Arrows in the all-time series between the two schools. And the Tigers break a 4-game losing streak against the Ashland Arrows. And a large reason for that is our Adena Corporation Player of the Game, Maurice Ware. Now, you're going to really like it when we come here because the 2 of the 3 times that we have seen you on this floor, you have played especially well. Talk about what you guys, maybe the mindset that you guys have as you head into the new season. I know things have been kind of rough for you guys. 5 of the last 6 games were losses. What is your approach now?
Well, first, it all starts in practice. We got to have good practices to play good in games, you know what I mean? Yeah, we've been having a difficult time with a couple games that we lost, but now I feel like we back locked in. Tonight, that's still not our best basketball. We still got a long way to go. Our young guys are developing, and I just think it all started in practice last Wednesday. We really been locked in and focused.
Now, when you say started in practice, is this players kind of taking control of things, or just a different approach from the coaching staff? What are you guys doing differently?
Learning, we getting our young guys to kind of adapt to the discipline part of varsity basketball. You know what I mean? We come in, we all dressed and ready. Before practice start, we all stretched out. We locked in, and the coaches. It starts with the coaches too. I take a big lead in trying to lead the young guys to getting locked in, and they've been doing a pretty good job of it. So.
Well, and we've been talking about the word potential. This is what you guys are capable of doing, and against one of the teams that's arguably one of the best teams in the OCC, that has got to do a lot for your confidence.
Yeah, it definitely does. You know what I mean? We got West Holmes. We get to see all the teams we lost to again, so, we definitely going in with a different mindset. Our confidence is back up. You know what I mean? We're ready for it.
Did you guys have a sense that maybe this was a must-win for you guys,
yeah,
especially getting into the conference race?
Yeah, definitely. You know what I mean? And what's so crazy is we went to the locker room and all the people were saying, we don't got a crowd because we've been losing. I'm saying it's a Tuesday night. That don't mean nothing. People start filling the gym. So we back. We're going to get it back on our winning streak and, bring everybody back out again. And
well, now, we saw you guys beat Worcester, and it was kind of a similar effort, although I think this game was a better game quarter 1 through quarter 4. You guys put together 4 really solid quarters tonight. Then you guys went to Lima Senior and pulled it off, and now you got a chance to kind of do that again. You play Sandusky on Saturday.
Yeah, and they're a pretty good team, you know what I mean? I think Ashland beat them by 1, so we're going to go down there. We're going to watch film, and we're going to be locked in tomorrow in practice.
Well, congratulations on a nice effort on your part and a big win, and good luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
Maurice Ware, our Adena Corporation Player of the Game, 32 points. He also had 13 rebounds and an outstanding effort. And they also got 20 points from Nathaniel Haney. Carryon Lindsay also added 12. That is a big win and a big-time performance again by Maurice Ware.
And I thought the point that he made that it starts in practice is so true. It's so true. It's not a switch that you can turn and become a better player or play better, play well, shoot better, play harder. It's something you have to prepare for. It's all in the process, and you have to come out, have good practices, play hard. Yeah, and as he mentioned, get the young kids, show them the ropes, show them how it's been to be successful at the varsity level. And again, that doesn't guarantee you success, but it gives you a much better chance.
No, but they also have a good sample size over the first, 9 games now of the season, that when we don't practice well, this is what happens on Friday night or Tuesday night. When we do practice well and we come out and we play the way we're capable, this is what can happen.
Now, you're right. And, I have not seen all their games, obviously, but to beat a Lima Senior team on the road, to beat an Ashland team anywhere, those are big, big wins. Lexington's an outstanding basketball team. Madison is a much improved basketball team. But they have beaten 2 very, very quality teams so far this season.
Well, with the win, Mansfield Senior is now 4-5 overall. They're 2-3 in the OCC, and Ashland drops to 7-3. They're 3-2 in conference play. The final score: Mansfield Senior 78 and Ashland 51. Our thanks to tonight's broadcast team. Our producer was Adam Thompson, and the fine camera work courtesy of Jory Hollenbeck. Most of all, our thanks to you for joining us. Once again, the final score from Pete Henry: Mansfield Senior 78 and Ashland 51. You've been watching high school basketball live and free on the OH Report, powered by BS Media Productions, the future of local sports. For Gregg Collins, I'm Brian Harter. So long from Pete Henry.